Hello and welcome to The Reasons I'm Broke. I'm Daniel,
And I'm Kelly.
and we've got a really good week this week. The big one, of course, is Batman Death of the Family, number 16. But we did pick up some old books, Sword of Sorcery.
Amethyst. And the reason we picked this up is I don't know if any of you have followed the DC Nation short. It's really cute. I think it's going to go a lot of places. And also, Amethyst number 3 sold out this month as well, at least at our local comic book shop. So we picked up 0, 1, and 2 and have started reading from the beginning. I've enjoyed it so far. What about you?
It's been interesting. It gives me a very Game of Thrones type of feel to the book. It's got a lot of fantasy in it as well, which is cool. I know we normally don't like a lot of the fantasy elements in the DC Comics, but this one kind of separates itself from the rest of the DC universe, and it does it well.
Right. I start disliking fantasy in DC when they tie it in with Batman. Or, because Batman could happen.
Yeah.
Like, okay, yeah, we would take down the big baddies, we'd shoot them, they wouldn't be allowed to run around like a Batman. But, like, Amethyst could never happen.
Yeah, if you want to give our listeners a little bit of an overview between the three issues, we picked up number 0, 1, and 2, like you mentioned earlier. They did sell out of 3.
Right. Well, it begins with a girl named Amy, who it's her 17th birthday, and her mom finally says that they can go home. She doesn't know where home is because they've moved around her whole life. But her mom says, you know what, it's your 17th birthday, we can go home. And she actually takes her through a portal into another world where it's very medieval, I guess you would almost call it, where you have
different houses.
Right, ruling houses. So you have Onyx House and Amethyst House and Diamond House, and they each have ruling lords, and they all they're advanced at the same time. It kind of reminded me a lot of a manga, because this is exactly what a girl would want to happen with her life. Like, oh, I'm suddenly a princess, and they're definitely leading up to a love story with Diamond House, because you have they flip back to this one guy who, oh, and by the way, her mom and a guy from this house were supposed to be together, but then her mom ran away, so, I wonder who Amethyst is going to end up with. But he's like the one good brother out of all his 3 bad brothers, and this and that and this other thing, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go, just because I love the love story aspect of it.
So you can read into all of this. Me, I'm just like, oh, so that's kind of cool. What's going to happen next?
What's Diamond House doing?
What's this character doing here? That's
Why
boring.
is their hair gray? And I'm like, they're going to fall in love, this and that. Also, I love the second feature in it. It's called Beowulf, and it's a future Beowulf, where Beowulf is this...
like a robot.
Right, he's a robot. He's pretty much invincible, and they've sent this little boy to go get him, or a group of people, this boy is involved, to get him to help stop this big baddie. And he kills everyone right away, and the boy's like, oh, shit, he's gonna kill me too. So he thinks fast and ties himself up. He's like, oh, thank you, mighty Beowulf, for saving me from my captors. Now let's go back and do this thing.
It's funny, too, because right before Beowulf kills anyone, you see everything from his sight, and everything's red with the text on it. I immediately thought Terminator. Like, fuck you, asshole, pops up on there as an option. And
it's very interesting, though, because they do, at one point, you have this hybrid animal, and his text pops up, and, it links the animal to Beast Boy and Swamp Thing and the Rot and the Red, so you see that it's kind of still tied into the DC universe. This maybe just takes place years and years in advance.
So we're going to be picking those up now. Monthly,
correct.
Right?
Well, we'll be continuing with those. We'll let you guys know further what we think as we go along.
Now getting into this week's new comics, we're going to go ahead and start off with the DC side, since we're already talking about Sword of Sorcery. Batgirl number 16, the last Death of the Family tie-in before the big grand finale in number 17 next month. This one, of course, written by Gail Simone, the last book written by Gail when they supposedly fired her and brought her back immediately.
I don't know why this was a great issue.
17 and 18 will feature a quote-unquote guest writer, as it was, and she'll be back on number 19.
Guest writer.
And this one gives you a little bit of flashback to Batgirl and what she was dealing with right after she was paralyzed. So we are finally getting into that portion between in which she was paralyzed and when she became Batgirl. And you see that she did have to visit a psychologist at some point. She has these nightmares where she kills the Joker
strangling
him.
Right. And it really, I think, touches more on the dark side of Batgirl, which is what I'm liking to see a lot in this comic. That she tells the psychiatrist, good dreams, bad dreams, they're always the same. I always kill him in the end. And sometimes I wake up crying because it's not real.
Yeah, and somewhere near the end of the book, with her confrontation with Joker, you get the appearance of James Gordon Jr., who we've seen throughout the series. Hopefully they're going to develop his character into something when Gail Simone gets back, into something more serious, into the conclusion of what that is. But you do see Batgirl does not hold back. And I think that says a lot about her as a person and how she is different from Batman. And like you've mentioned in the previous podcast, she is the daughter of Commissioner Gordon, so she does have that cop mentality. She will kill someone.
Right. It was a very good issue. I don't think we want to spoil too much about it. It is continuing with the marriage between herself and Joker.
Yeah.
And it was a dark issue. These issues are getting darker as we go, and I think it's freaking me out, but it's great to see Joker in his full capacity.
Now for a little bit more of an upsetting issue, for me at least.
He was so mad when he finished reading it.
Batman and Robin number 16. This is where supposedly Batman and Robin are put up against one another, forced to fight by the Joker because of the Joker serum, the Joker toxin. And this still continues the great art by Pat Gleason that we were talking about last time this came out last month. And it still looks awesome. He didn't do as much with the Joker as he did in the last issue, but this is more of a relationship between Robin, Damian, and his father, which is Batman. And throughout the entire issue, when they're forced to fight, when Batman is under the Joker serum and under that influence, Robin's begging his father the whole time, "Don't make me do this to you. Remember who we are and what he's doing to us, how he's making us into these puppets." And that is why I mainly read the Batman and Robin books, because of that relationship between father and son. And you see Robin's desperation when he has to fight his father, this man that he loves. And it's pretty much his whole world, I would say, at this point, because Talia is no longer anything to him.
Talia is not anything to anybody. And I think they've done a fantastic job throughout this entire series of developing that relationship between the two. Because in the beginning, they were just kind of like, they really didn't, I won't say they didn't want anything to do with each other, but they didn't know how to interact with each other. And I think they're finally coming to that point where they realize, you mean the world to me. You are one of the most important people in my life, and I want you to understand that.
Yeah, by the end of the issue, you do see that lead up to Death of the Family to Batman number 17. I mean, this isn't really spoiling much, because if you read Batman number 16, you'd know that the entire Bat family does get disabled by the Joker. They do get defeated. But this particular ending to Batman and Robin really pissed me off, because there's a reveal in Batman number 16 at the end of the book, and the way that Robin is taken down at this point is a little bit different, a little bit more eerie, a disembodied defeat, which kills me, because it makes me think that this is going to be the end of Damian for Batman number 17, but it's not like that strong a hint that I'm spoiling anything.
I'm telling you, if one of them has to die, it needs to be Tim Drake again. Just kill him again.
Fuck Red Hood again.
We already killed him once. What's another time? Crack me up. This would be the best series ever.
It's the end of Jason Todd. He'll come back. Came back last time.
Jason Todd. I'm sorry, I called him Tim Drake. Yeah. It's because he's my favorite Robin.
Damian's my favorite.
Well, fine. Damian can be your favorite Robin. And the last one for Death of the Family that we have this week is Batman number 16. Scared the crap out of me, Scott Snyder. Thank you for your creepy writing. And Greg, with your creepy drawing, I'm going to have nightmares.
As if we weren't already having nightmares from that first page in 15 with Joker's face just staring at you.
Spooky.
That was cool too. One of the best pages in comics from last year, I think.
Spooky.
But this one is Batman in Arkham Asylum, and it opens with a wonderful page of Batman and Joker dancing.
And Joker's whispering sweet nothings into his ear. Batman talking to himself, trying to say, you have this. You just need to stay one step ahead of him.
Don't listen to him.
Don't listen to him. You can take him down. You have to take him down.
The rest of this is a lot of freaking Batman out, putting him right behind Joker's plans, and putting all these obstacles in his way so that Joker can prepare the setup for his king, as he calls him, getting his crew together, his jester, his bishop, everything. His strategist as he kept going.
Right, he does. And this one scared me so much, and I would love to sit here and talk about everything in it that freaked me out, but I don't want to give it away because if you haven't read it yet and you're going to, it would soften it, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, even when Batman number 17 does come about, I don't think we're going to be talking about that issue for a couple of weeks after because, like you said, it does soften the blow, and we want you to appreciate the entire story as it is. And these two issues especially are very crucial, these last two. But do know that it's awesome. It is my pick of the week. I don't know if it's yours.
Well, I couldn't pull it apart from the three of them. I would say all three are a definite must-have. I do like this next one a lot that we're going to talk about, and I think I may go with that one as my pick of the week. This was a fantastic issue, but I don't think it's as complete without the other two.
Yeah, definitely pick it up, Batman number 16. It's got a lot of cameos from a lot of villains as well.
And this one, I'm going to have to say, is my pick of the week. You have Saga Chapter 9. This is continuing with The Will.
Yeah.
And it opens up. This totally threw me for a loop because it had been so long since we had seen him. And in the beginning, I'm like, oh, cool. So this is just picking up. And it was wrong. It was false. It was a dream. And I felt so sad. You were even sad. I heard you spoke out about it.
Thrown for a loop there in the beginning. I was like, oh, cool. The return of this character. Oh, wait, never mind. Still dead.
Yeah, what happens is, I don't think we give away too much by spoiling this one. You're back on that sex planet where he's trying to save the little girl. And his old girlfriend comes out, and he's like, yep, she just got better, and she's got this huge scar across her chest. And you're like, awesome, they're together, and she's killing people, and they take the little girl. And then the little girl turns to him and goes, why do you keep having... Sorry, that's my Pokemon phone. The little girl turns to him and goes, why do you keep deluding yourself with this? And then he wakes up, and it was all a dream!
Yeah.
And he still doesn't have the little girl or his woman.
So this is pretty much a story completely for the Will. So any fans of the character are going to love this. We won't see Marco until probably the next month, chapter 10.
Right. They're definitely all about to meet. You also have Marco's ex-girlfriend in this one who's just like, I want to kill him because he broke my heart and made a baby with this other girl.
Yeah, I can't wait for that confrontation. It's going to be awesome.
That's going to be great. It's setting up for some great stuff. I don't think there's been an issue where I haven't really wanted the next one to come out, which is another reason why it's my pick for the week. It's not as gross and creepy as Batman, so a little more lighthearted, but it was a good issue.
Yeah, and Fiona Staples keeps up the awesome art. Brian K. Vaughan, of course, the writer on Saga. Good book, your pick of the week.
Yep.
We also had on the indie side from Bongo Comics, Simpsons Comics number 198. And this is a complete story again. It's not broken up into several stories like it has been like a couple months ago. This is mainly about a contest on who will be the Lard Lad King or Queen.
Lard.
Yeah.
Yep. The Lard Lad boy or I don't know.
Or girl, depending on who win, the Lard Lad. And both Lisa and Bart enter this because there is a $1,000 scholarship attached to it, which is why Lisa enters. And then otherwise you get a bunch of donuts for free, which is why Bart enters. And this is why Homer wants both of them to enter. He's like, I get double the chance of winning now. But you find out that whoever wins the contest, I'm not going to spoil it, ends up hating the job, ends up hating having to be king because they have to eat donuts and monitor and open up all these donut places all around the country.
All around the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were some great laughs in there, though. I love this part where they break into the classroom. Again, we don't want to give it away, but that made me laugh. And I think Simpsons Comics are picking up from where they were a couple months ago. And it was a good issue. I don't think we had a single bad issue.
Yeah, it was really good.
I don't even have a pass this week.
And the 200th issue is coming up soon. That'll be in March. So keep an eye out for that. That is going to be a 48-page special and still at the $2.99 cover price, which is rare these days with the comic books.
Well, even these normal Simpson comics, very few ads. You get a lot of content for the price.
Yeah, and very minimal advertisement.
Mm-hmm.
It's all Bongo Comics advertisements, I think, actually. And they will do it for what we picked up this week. Finishing off our Justice League run from the Justice League Unlimited and Justice League Adventures comics that we've been picking up. These are based on the Cartoon Network show that aired a couple years ago, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited by Bruce Timm, Dwayne McDuffie. and Paul Dini wrote a couple of episodes here and there. But it's last 3 issues that we got. Start off on Justice League Unlimited number 43. This one features Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. Not the Blue Beetle that we like from Young Justice and the
it's the greatest
comics.
Blue Beetle ever.
Yeah, where the Blue Beetle's always telling him, kill her before she changes her mind. And he's like, no, I can't.
And he's super racist.
Super racist and hilarious. But this is like the 2 heroes, Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, which aren't taken as seriously or weren't at the time that the comic was written, even by comic book fans. And this is all about them both trying to audition to be in the Justice League. So they come up with a plan to stop a couple of villains. Turns out the Justice League were on them the entire time, so they kind of look like idiots because they kind of spoiled the plan for them.
They just end up getting in the way. And then you have that little confrontation with Wonder Woman at the end, where it's revealed that they're only want to be in the Justice League for the money.
Yeah.
And Green Lantern's pissed. He's like, there's no money in this. And then Wonder Woman wants to beat the crap out of him, and Batman plays mediator.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, we were new at this once too. She's like, yeah, but to be in it for the money? He's like, I don't need the money.
Yeah.
Did you ever need the money? And that kind of shuts her up. Put that woman back in her place.
And what was cool is when Batman's like throwing his battering around and kicking ass. I think they're called the Demolition Crew or whatever the villains are in this.
Mm-hmm.
They're just observing Batman and they're like, oh, he is good. Very good. And smooth. Very smooth. And I'm like, oh, God, even these guys like Batman.
Everyone likes Batman. We've discussed this.
But he does tell them, well, if you're going to do any kind of superhero fighting, serve any kind of justice, do it right. Or don't do it at all.
Oh, Batman. So anyway, he pretty much doesn't tell them not to stop. So they're like, oh, we can keep going on. And as you see, I know at least Booster Gold makes it into the Justice League in the series. I don't know about Blue Beetle. He's better in Young Justice. This one was my favorite of the 3 that we read. It was Justice League Unlimited number 41. On the cover you have Joker and Batman's cape and cowl running around with Harley on his shoulder. I thought this was a very delightful issue. It's Joker and he's sitting down there being gay for Batman going, it's our anniversary and he's not even here.
Yeah.
So they just decide to go up to the Watchtower, hijack a rocket ship. I don't know how this happens. Go up to the Watchtower. And Joker's like, I'm here for our anniversary. But Batman's not there. So they fight Zatanna and Hot Girl. You've got weirdo Plastic Man somebody and wannabe Batman. I mean Scarlet Avenger or something like that.
Yeah. Scarlet Avenger.
Yeah. So it's Joker and Harley running around being silly. Harley gets jealous because of Zatanna because she's in fish tights or fishnet stockings and chasing around the Joker. I thought it was really cute.
Yeah, the whole time this like second-rate Justice League, I guess they call themselves in the book, realize that they're underestimating the Joker because he's using like plastic toys, but they don't realize that they're all dangerous weapons. This is the Joker. And that's when they kind of realize that Joker's also been underestimating them, and they kind of take that to their advantage and stop Joker and Harley.
That was the only thing I didn't like. I'm like, Batman, I mean, he foils his plans, but he can't really take him out as easily as these guys were doing. But
right.
it was cute. I like that the Joker was all, it's our anniversary. Good job, Joker.
And the last one that we read, and this will complete our little run with Justice League Unlimited, the comic book, is number 46. This one was actually my favorite of the 3. My second favorite was the last one we talked about with Joker and Harley. This was actually the final issue in the Justice League Unlimited series, the whole run in the comics. And if you are a Green Lantern fan, you have to pick this up. And it is pretty good, even if you're not, because you got an appearance from Sinestro, not in his yellow lantern suit or anything, but he does appear, and he is the main antagonist in the story. You get Kilowog in it, and a bunch of more of the Green Lantern Corps. Of course, Jon Stewart, your favorite Green Lantern, is the main guy in it. No Batman in this.
He's on the cover. It's good enough. They put him in there somewhere.
Yeah. And Sinestro is going to ruin the Green Lantern Corps, completely destroy all of them by going after the main battery. He already takes out the Guardians in this at one point. So pretty badass of him, but he gets taken down kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Like one of the other Justice League members bites his finger and somehow takes his ring off, and that's how he stopped.
Yeah, it was a weird dog Green Lantern, too. I don't know. This one was, I thought they set up the characters well. I just thought there were too many characters For me, they should have just made it Batman. Just Batman stopping everyone.
That's the final issue, yeah. But Kilowog was awesome.
He was.
I really enjoyed it. Some cancellations we found out from the previews catalog and online. iVampire is done. Number 19 will be the final issue of iVampire.
Man.
And someone online was saying DC has much shittier books on its 52 list, and iVampire is the one they cancel. And my response is, no one fucking bought it like they should have.
Right.
If you complain about a book being canceled, just remember, it's all about the money. If you didn't buy it and you complained about this being canceled, you have nothing to bitch about. When it comes down to it, it doesn't matter how good the book is, Marvel or DC, any of them, they're gonna cancel it if it doesn't sell.
Right. It was a good series. I am sad to see it go. I think it had a lot more potential, more things that it could have done. The first arc I thought was amazing. That was a great first arc. If you guys haven't read it, go pick up the trade. I don't know if it's out yet, but definitely pick that up when it comes out. I'm really sad to see it go. I think people need to stop complaining that DC doesn't come up with new stuff.
Yeah.
Because when they do, they don't buy it. It was really good. Go tell your friends to buy it. Maybe they'll bring it back.
And then they'll bring Gail Simone back onto that book,
yeah.
too. So that's it. No more iVampire, but there's a couple issues left, so let's see how they tie it all together. Maybe we'll see the characters and a couple of other series, like probably Justice League Dark is the one they'd appear in.
Right.
And I think that'll do it for comics this week. We did go to the theaters, and we saw, finally, Monsters, Inc. 3D to kind of prepare us for Monsters University. Plus, it had been years since I'd seen it in theaters, and I really wanted to. It is my favorite Pixar movie, personally. I love Billy Crystal, John Goodman. They were great
Boo.
together. And Boo was awesome, too.
Mike Wazowski.
Every time I watch it, though, that ending always fucking gets me. I always end up crying like a little fucking baby.
It's a sweet ending. It was great to see it on the big screen again. I don't know that I saw it in theaters the first time. I might have. I don't remember. It was great to just see the backgrounds and the details that big.
Screen.
They did. I know it's an older movie, but it still, I think, holds up very well.
Yeah, it looks really good. The fur rendering was huge for Pixar at the time. Like when they did Sully, I don't remember how many hours it took just to render like a couple of frames. I don't think age has really taken its toll on this movie yet. It still looks great. It's some of the monsters, I guess. We're remembering Doug Walker talking about it. He's the guy from That Guy with the Glasses, the Nostalgia Critic, talking about how some of the monsters could have used a more creative design, and it's true. Yeah, a lot of them have like the two eyeballs and the arms and nothing else. But it's still a really enjoyable movie. Again, my favorite Pixar. Very heartfelt. I love Billy Crystal and John Goodman together. The fact that they brought them back for the Monsters University prequel is a great thing. You have to have the two characters back. If you haven't seen Monsters, Inc., and I don't know if you haven't, check it out in theaters. It's cool. The 3D I wasn't a fan of. I kind of forgot about it midway through. I don't feel like it added anything to it.
Right, I don't think it added anything to it. I will say, it reminded me of the Beauty and the Beast 3D, where it wasn't things flying at you, which is what I hate in 3D. The 3D went back into itself, so it made the rooms look bigger. It wasn't bad 3D. Like you said, I forgot about it halfway through, except for the annoying glasses on my face.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the headache-causing 3D, which is why I hate 3D to begin with.
Yeah, if you own the movie already on Blu-ray, I guess I can't really justify seeing it in theaters, except for the fact that if you saw it in theaters the first time like I did, it's a nice experience being able to sit down in a theater again and watching this movie, because we probably won't be able to ever again. Yeah. I don't see them re-releasing this like 20 years from now like they did with Beauty and the Beast or Nightmare Before Christmas, Lion King.
Unless you guys send a lot of donations, then I will build you a theater and you can come and watch whatever you want.
Or just tweet to DC, tell them to bring back Monsters, Inc., and they'll bring back Monsters, Inc. with Gail Simone and...
and iVampire.
iVampire, yeah.
It'll be called Monster Gale University Vampire.
Yes. That'll be the sequel to Monsters, Inc. Written by Gail Simone, featuring iVampire World.
Yes. And if you are interested in checking out the teaser trailer for Monsters University, I believe the website is monstersuniversity.com/edu.
There you go. And I think that'll do it for this week. We got a lot of big stuff next week coming up. We are on iTunes now. I mentioned last week that hopefully we'd be on it at this point. We are there. I think it's updated up to episode 9 at this point. On February 15th or 12th, one of those two dates, I'll be able to upload some more. episodes on there, so hopefully we'll be almost caught up to that point. But again, episodes 1 through 9 are up there if you'd rather just listen to us on your iPod. Also, make sure to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. As you watch it on YouTube, for anyone that's on iTunes and listening, we do put up panels that we saw this week of some of the comics, a couple of trailers if we're talking about certain movies. So don't forget to subscribe there too. And find us on Twitter at ReasonsI'mBroke. Let us know what made you broke this week. #ReasonsI'mBroke. Anything else you got, Kelly?
I played Pokemon this week.
Almost done with it.
Almost done with it. Met up with Innigan and we fell in love. That's pretty much all I have for Pokemon.
Yeah.
Fell in love.
Still not getting X and Y?
Nope. Still not getting X and Y.
I'm going to keep asking her like every week just to see if she changes.
But even if I said yes, you wouldn't let me get it.
I'm going to
You've already
track
told me
down
this.
this change that's going to go through inside you when you finally see more and more of X and Y.
Are you going to piece these clips together and then like play it over and over for me to just show me my shame?
Bring you down.
Thanks a lot.
Once again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelli.